Hey guys, the WalterFootball.com After Dark Show for March 26, 2025. Wasn't sure what we're going to talk about tonight outside of a new 2025 NFL mock draft. And then as I was putting my son to bed, we had a Stefon Diggs signing, we had Russell Wilson signing, we had Chidobe Awuzie signing. Some crazy news happened in the past few hours, so we're going to break it all down. As you can see, I'm flying solo tonight, so if you guys have any questions or comments, I'll answer all of them. Well, I usually answer all of them anyway, but I'll definitely answer everything because I won't have to worry about my co-host getting canceled or anything. Not that that'll happen, but still, you guys know how we roll when we're flying solo. So yeah, guys, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It's our Pedo Pete t-shirt. You can get that as well as anything else at the merch store. We have a ton of t-shirts. Well, 15% off right now. Should probably reload this to make sure that's still the case. 20% off. Actually, it's even better. It's 20% off. So these shirts are low $13, some 14 or so, but they're all pretty reasonable. They're all high quality shirts, and you can change the colors. You can go to any of them, change the colors. Some of them it won't work so well. Like there's a couple of them there. I think like the squirrel shirt or something. It'll be weird if you change the color just because the image. But most of them you can change it just fine. Our mugs are $10 or $10.80 at least. The less than $11. I like these mugs a lot. I'm gonna make some more of them. That you can't change the stripes of a leopard, and hindsight's 50-50. I'm gonna add some more like the Emma quote, killing two stones with one bird. Going to do that as well as some others. So yeah, guys, buying any of this stuff would really help. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks of the College Years, where I just made fun of people. I saw at Penn State for 6 years. So I spent 6 years at Penn State. It was an awesome time. And I ran into a lot of weird people, whether it was people on my floor in my dorm or weird professors or just strange people in the comments. I wrote about all of them, including a former Penn State football player. So you can get that, a couple actually. So you can get this book on Amazon or consider super chats, super stickers. It's the best way to support the show. You guys have been so awesome with your contributions. I can't say that enough. We had last week we had Slew, John Sanders, and then before that we had Armac, Degeneron, Can't Make an Eagle, Alan Stafford. You guys have been so great. I just can't say that enough. And it just really helps because the last time we had a show with those super chats, I believe that was Thursday. We made like 41 cents, so it's not pretty. It is still Q1. Actually, we're 7 days away from Q2, but it's still gonna be pretty bleak until Q4, and even that's like not great. So anytime we get a super chat, that's like usually like 4 or 5x or at least what we get per show. So thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it. John says, Bills fan here, thrilled Diggs signed with the Patriots after seeing the money. Yeah, we're gonna get to that in 1 second. Sue says, why wasn't the Valspar 75 holes? Man, that was so rough. It was. So I was in the basement with my son and my daughter, and they're just playing around. Like we have a chair over there. You guys can't actually see it. I should probably just like tilt it this way. There's that chair. Like they love like jumping and like hopping off the chair and everything. And we have pat like pillows set up so like they don't fall and hurt themselves. So they're just doing that. And my son's like, I want to watch Paw Patrol, and I'm like Conrad, come on, there's 3 more holes to go. We need Justin Thomas to win. He's up 3 with 3 to go. Not that he knows what that means. He's 3 years old. And he looks at the TV. He's like, I don't like that guy. I'm like really? And he's like, I like the guy in the blue shirt. And I think that was like Kevin Yu or something. I don't know who it was. But he's as soon as he said he didn't like that guy, Justin Thomas hit the ball into the crowd. It was basically in the trees in the crowd, and then he hit the ball in the bunker. It was so brutal, and then he just complete meltdown. Victor Hovland caught him, and I was kind of like so shell shocked by the whole thing. I just assumed Thomas was going to win it because he was up 3 with 3 to go. That I just didn't hedge, and I looked at the odds at that point. Like Hovland was like 7-1 or 8-1, and just like hindsight, 50-50. I was like, man, why didn't I just bet Hovland like even like a half unit? Would have won like 4 units off of that at plus 800. And then once Thomas hit the ball into the fans, the odds dropped on Hovland, or the odds rose, I should say. They went from plus 800 to like plus 200. And I'm like, well, if Thomas hits the ball fine out of here, then it's going to go back to plus 400, and then I'll bet it then. And then of course he shanks another one. It goes into the bunker, and it's this complete meltdown. Once that happened, the odds were even, and I was like, do I just bet Hovland even odds? I felt like an idiot just doing that because I missed out on plus 800 and I just didn't do it. We did hedge twice though, so we came out in the positive, which is I guess that's fine. But man, we could have won so much more money with Thomas. Just such a shame. Yeah, I don't, hopefully we had better luck this week. That was such a brutal meltdown. Patrick says 2 days ago was excited for Winston Neighbors season. Now have Russ join Wash players that join Giants like Peyton Hillis, Alfred Morris, Kenny Galladay. Man, that's such a disappointing signing. So yeah, let's get to the signings for sure. And we might as well talk about that one first because you brought it up. Although the John Stafford brought up the big signing, but John's saying, I've been reading your website for years since I was a teenager and I'm almost 30. Love the signing grades and draft analysis for you and Charlie. Thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it. That's awesome to be reading for so long. We've been around for a while. It's going to be 26 years in November. So it's pretty crazy. I started this when I was 17, so you can do the math and figure out how old I am. But yeah, thanks so much, John. Really appreciate it. Let's start at the top. So we're doing this in chronological order. We usually do it in reverse chronological order. No, we're doing it in reverse chronological order. So we usually do it in chronological. So the Patriots signed Stefon Diggs, 3 years, $69 million. I thought Stefon Diggs was going to have to sign like a 1 year deal, like 1 year, $8 million, 1 year, $10 million, even $12 million, which would make sense for someone like him because he in the past he's obviously been one of the better receivers in the NFL. Great receiver for the Bills for so many years. Before that, the Vikings, obviously, like he was just outstanding. Even as most recently as 2022, and even the first half of 2023, he was great. He declined at the end of 2023, and we thought that is maybe because Joe Brady took over, a new coordinator change, or there's a potential for him being injured. Now he goes to Houston last year, and like he posts some good stats here and there, but he just didn't look the same. And then he's towards ACL, and like that's the problem here. Receivers and running backs coming off torn ACLs just really struggle the following year. You can even point to like greats like Saquon Barkley. He tore his ACL in 2020, and then in 2021, where is it? 2021? I can't remember which year, whatever year it was. Towards ACL, and the next year he tried to come back, and he was just so banged up all the time. He wasn't himself at all. And I remember he went like late in round 1 in fantasy drafts, like early round 2. And, I've heard the opinion of so many people saying like, oh, this is such great value for Barkley. And I was like, man, there's no way I'm touching this guy coming up to 20 ACL. And he, like I said, he just really struggled the next year. And then the next year after that, he was going like round 3. And I'm like, are people insane? Like they took him at the end of round 1 coming off the 20 ACL. And by the way, this ACL occurred on week 2 against the Bears. So it wasn't even like week 8 like Stefon Diggs suffered. It was much earlier than that. And so anyway, so people were taking him late round 1 coming off a torn ACL, and yet they weren't touching him to round 3 now that he was a second year removed from a torn ACL. I thought that was so stupid. So Barkley was like one of my favorite fantasy picks that year. It was the year that the Giants, I guess that was 2022 or 2023, 2022. Yeah, that was the year that the Giants they went to the second round of the playoffs. They got blasted by the Eagles, but still, it was their best year in the Daniel Jones era by far. So my point is that like even great players like Barkley aren't immune to this. Now, like there are some extremely rare occasions. Adrian Peterson somehow had the 2,000-yard season. I'm like convinced he like sold his soul to the devil for that. Like it just made no sense for him to have his best year coming up to torn ACL. Like he's like one of the very rare exceptions that's occurred with the torn ACL. I don't see Diggs bucking that trend. Like there's a very, very small chance that happens. But Diggs is 31. It's not like he's some 24-year-old receiver who can recover quickly. He's 31. And he's been declining. So I don't understand the signing. Now, I didn't give the Patriots $1 million because like at least they're trying with Drake May. Like they needed to give Drake May something. So even though this is a massive overpay on an injured player and he's he's almost certainly going to get hurt, at least maybe multiple times next year. It's going to be pretty bad. At least the Patriots like did something because the rest of their offseason, except for a couple of signings here and there, like I like Harold Landry, for example, like most of their signings are just so meh. Like they really haven't done anything, even though they had the most cap space in the NFL entering the free agency period. So like at least at least they accomplished something. Um, so yeah, it's okay. I gave it a D. You can easily argue F. Someone on Twitter right before I signed on was trying to argue that like the Patriots had all this money, so like who cares? I'm like that sounds like something like an athlete would do. Like hey, I just signed this like $10 million contract. Let me buy these Lambos. Like oh, I have all the money in the world, and then like in a couple of years suddenly they're bankrupt. It's like you can't make bad financial decisions like no matter what. Like now the Patriots have a good safety net, I guess, because they have so much cap space, but if they keep making dumb moves like this, and Milton Williams is another example. They gave him $100 million. Like eventually, it's going to backfire. So I don't like this at all. Turncoat exactly. Yeah, maybe they'll get their revenge. Diggs will get his revenge. Probably not. It'll be probably massive blowouts in both games. Patch says, "What are your thoughts on Signalgate? What a wild news story." I can't believe they included all the people, one of the worst reporters in the media, Jeffrey Goldberg, in this message. I think that it was staged. I don't think it was a real thing. Because, like, that conversation was, like, 2 hours before they launched. Like, and they were, like, debating on whether they were going to do it or not. Like, it seemed so fake, the whole thing. I don't know. I think they were trying to manipulate him somehow. I don't think it was. I don't think it was a real leak. I think it was like a fake leak done on. I don't know. Done like quote unquote accidentally, but like I think it was staged. I don't really buy like into that at all. It seems so weird. Like why would they include him on that at all? It just doesn't make sense. And Al says the least Diggs is only 23 million guaranteed. Yeah. It's pretty crazy money for an old receiver coming off torn ACL. John saying 26 million guaranteed. So this is a bizarre contract. Like I said, I thought that he was going to have to sign a like a 1 year prove it deal. It seemed like perfect for a 31-year-old receiver coming off the torn ACL. And like if he had a good year, then suddenly I'm seeing 25 million guaranteed. So I guess we're in the middle. Spot Rack has 25 million guaranteed. Look, if he had a good season, if he bucked the trend, then he could like sign his contract like this next year. That would have made sense. But I guess the Patriots just really wanted to overpay for a receiver because they really don't have any. It was like is the Mario Douglas and nothing else. Like that was it. So again, like I understand why they did this. It was just a really bad overpay. Patches, Tulsi, and Waltz both seem to admit it. Dave Smith on his show tonight said he thinks it might be Mike Waltz bringing sabotage intentionally because Smith has info that Waltz has been awful. It could be. I don't think that was like Hexet's issue. It could be. It could be something like that. But I don't. Again, like I don't think it was like an accident. I think like we both agree here. Like someone did it intentionally, to leak it. I don't think it's an accidental leak. Just doesn't seem like pretty believable that it's like that it's actually like it was done by accident. And so let's get to the Giants here. This is somehow even worse than Stefon Diggs because while the Diggs signing contract, the Diggs contract was terrible, but at least like I get what the Patriots are doing. Like I don't understand this move at all. The Giants signed Jameis Winston a few days ago for 2 years, $8 million. I thought that was a great move because, they could draft a quarterback. Maybe they don't get Shedeur Sanders at 3, and if they don't, maybe they get Jackson Dart in the second round, or Jalen Milroe, or Quinn Ewers, or whomever they want. And then they have Jameis Winston to start if that quarterback's not ready. Or, if they don't like any of the quarterbacks, they could have tanked with Winston. They would have been. It would have been fun for the fans because Winston would have had some great games. He would also had some awful games. And so the Giants probably would have finished with 4 wins. They would have been in position to draft maybe Arch Manning or Nussmeier at the worst. And so that made sense. Like it all made sense. And then this happened. I wrote this on the site, but I was putting my son to bed, and I saw that the Giants signed Russell Wilson. I'm like, oh, that's strange. I'm like, well, I bet they gave him like 1 year, 3 million or something. Like, I guess that makes sense. They gave him a 21 million. I mean, 10.5 million is guaranteed. Like, why? This is so stupid. Russell Wilson is horrible. Like, this is not Russell Wilson circa 2016. This is Russell Wilson heading into 2025, who is going to be 37 during the season. He's going to turn 37 in November. He's coming off 2.5 bad years, like 2 awful years in Denver. And then last year he had like 3 or 4 really good games for the Steelers, and then he just fell apart at the end of the year. And I know that he didn't have any good receivers outside of George Pickens, and I guess like Pat Frymouth counts too, but he didn't have like an amazing supporting cast because outside of Pickens and Frymouth, he was starting to like Van Jefferson and who else is there? Calvin Austin. Like, he didn't really have any other viable weapons. But I mean, if you look at the Giants, it's kind of like the same thing. Like, they have like neighbors, obviously, but like outside of that, they Darius Slayton, Wan'Dale Robinson, like, these guys aren't that good. I guess they're better than Jefferson and Calvin Austin, but it's really not that much of an upgrade. And the Steelers had a better offensive line than the Giants, so. I don't know what they're expecting here. Are they thinking like, oh, he can play like it's 2015 again, like for some reason? Like, no, he's gonna be 37 soon. He's on the downside of his career, and I thought his starting days were over. I really did. Like, I didn't like like, I'm not counting like coming in for like an injured player as a backup. Like, this is saying that he's gonna be the starter over Winston because he's getting much more money. He's getting, like, his guarantee is more than Winston's entire contract. So, yeah, I guess he's the starter now, and that just it's not going to be fun. And any Giants fan had to go, as Patrick pointed out, like, elated that you're going to lose and have fun at the same time for 1 year, and then get serious. And then now it's like, like, we're going to score like 13 points per game with Wilson, and Wilson's not even good in the locker room. Like everyone despises him. Like, I've said this before on the show. But there was a podcast where I listened to a clip of it. It was Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch talking, and they were talking about how they couldn't get in touch with Russell Wilson when he was on their team because they didn't have his phone number. Like, if they wanted to get in touch with him for like an event or something, they had to go through his agent. And it's like, what kind of teammate is this? And so, like, Russell Wilson has never been liked in the locker room. And so, like, is he going to help develop the quarterback the Giants draft this year? If they do, I don't know. I just don't think so. And Schefter reported that the Giants will still consider Shedeur Sanders at 3, even with the signing. So if the Giants bring in Sanders, and like what is Russell Wilson going to do with that? Like, how is Russell Wilson going to help Shedeur Sanders? I just don't see it. So this is just a terrible contract. Alan Stafford, $15 super chat. Thank you so much, Alan. Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you so much. No relation to John, by the way. I was actually wondering that because now we have 2 Staffords in the chat. He asks, what does Cleveland do at number 2? Seems unlikely they win soon. I agree. Hunter seems to make the most sense. Offense and defense and punt QB, or come back up for Dart late round 1. I think. I mean, right now, well, I think that Charlie. Well, first of all, Charlie's going to have some better info for us down the road. Charlie's going to be on next week. I thought he might come on this week, but he's pretty swamped with like some family stuff. So he said he's definitely going to be on next week, either Tuesday or Thursday next week. So I'm kind of curious to hear what he has to say. Right now in Charlie's mock draft, I want to see what he has. But I like. Personally, I think that Abdul Carter still makes a lot of sense. I know they re-signed Myles Garrett, but Garrett's 29, and I think he turns 30 during the season. So they're going to need another edge rusher for the future. So yeah, Charlie has Abdul Carter going to the Browns. I think if it's not a quarterback, I think Carter makes the most sense. I don't think Hunter is going to go in the top 3. Unless the Giants really don't like Sanders and they if Carter goes 2 and Cam Ward goes 1, then I guess Hunter makes sense at 3. But if they don't like Sanders, that is. But I don't know, because like every team that Charlie's spoken to, and Charlie talks to like half the league, they've all had Abdul Carter ranked ahead of Travis Hunter. So and Charlie has Hunter falling to 5 to Jacksonville, and so do I. I think there's a chance that Hunter slips like a tad bit. As long as that scenario doesn't play out with the Giants, as I mentioned. So I think right now the Browns are they're probably considering either Abdul Carter or Shador Sanders. Like they're probably trying to figure out if they like Sanders. There's also I assume there's also a chance that they're going to try to trade off Cam Ward. I think I've heard that somewhere, but the Titans might be falling in love with Cam Ward. They just announced that they're going to have a private workout with him again, and given that they whiffed on all the quarterbacks in free agency, it just seems likely that that they're going to they're going to draft Cam Ward number 1. Unless like all this stuff that they're doing is kind of like to like posture themselves to give themselves more just more leverage in the trade. So they might want the Browns to move up to 1 or the Giants to move up to 1. Like I think that makes a lot of sense. But I think that the Browns right now, I'm pretty 50-50 on Sanders or Carter. I have the Browns taking Sanders right now. And as I said, Charlie hasn't taken Carter. So I think it's one or the other. And I don't even know if they know what they want right now. Like they're probably like trying to talk themselves in or out of like taking Sanders. So right now, if I had to say it, I'd say they take Sanders. But I could easily see them taking Carter too. So like I said, I'm eager to have Charlie on the show next week, and we're definitely going to get into that topic as well. So, Alan, thank you so much for the $15 super chat. Like I said, this means a lot, and this is like 30x what we usually get on a show without super chat. So, thank you so much. Let's see. We had a few comments here. So, John says. Actually, we're further back. Yeah. John says, I'm guessing they'll pass on Sanders now, guaranteed a blue chip in Hunter or Ward. Yeah, and maybe I assume you're talking about the Giants. Like maybe, I don't know. I mean, they need a quarterback, and if they like Sanders, then they'll take Sanders. I don't think Russell Wilson precludes like anything. Like I just don't see like unless they're incredibly stupid, which could be the case. Like there's no reason that they'll be like, oh, we like Sanders, but now we got Russell Wilson, so we're not going to take Sanders. You know, I feel like it's either they like Sanders or they don't. And I guess it might mean that they don't like Sanders because they signed Russell Wilson, but I don't know. It just seems ridiculous that they would do this, but I don't know. Campaign says, "What's up, all?" Hey, Campaign, how's it going? Patrick says, I know it's only social media, but people were hype on Winston signing on Giants Instagram page. Every comment for this Wilson signing was, "Oh God, why?" Yeah, I don't get it either. It seems so stupid. Alan says Giants revving up the tank so much right now that Arch seems destined to be a Giant. It seems that way, right? Like Russell Wilson definitely gives them, like a worse chance of winning. So I guess like they're just shoring up their tanking. I don't get it. That's what watch the Giants pay Rodgers 1 year, $55 million. That would be like so hilarious. I would love to see that. So my question from the other night has probably been answered. Snow White currently has 1.7 on IMDb. I don't think it's saving AMC. I thought it would open to widespread acclaim. I assume that's sarcasm at the end. Man, that movie is just so bad. I think they did 43 million on their opening weekend, which like is awful because they spent what 210 million on it. Like I don't know what they think. Like all the signs are there. Like they knew the movie was going to bomb. And yeah, it's horrible. There's also a Robert De Niro movie apparently about like a mafia, and it did like 10 million on the opening weekend or something. Like some ridiculously low number. It was so funny, and I saw that. I'm like, I didn't even like see a preview for this. So yeah, movies aren't doing too hot right now. I would not. This is financial advice. I would not buy AMC. GameStop, by the way, great earnings today. Their EPS or their earnings per share was it 26 cents? I think I saw it. It was like the estimate was 8 cents. So looking good. Revenue was down year over year, but like they've shut down a lot of stores that weren't performing well. So it kind of makes sense that their earnings are down. Also, they had they had an announcement saying that they're going to have the reserves in Bitcoin, which is definitely better than the U.S. dollar. Um, let's see, Slu says looking forward to the Russell Wilson Moonballs, the neighbors. Yeah, I guess although like if he performs like he did at the end of the year, we're not going to really see them. Yeah, Charlie on next week. Yeah, hell yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame that he was busy this week, but he'll be on next week. They're open to trading down from number 2. Yeah, I think most teams are open to trading down, but like the question is who's trading up. Like, do the Jets do it? Like, are they that desperate for quarterback? Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe the Steelers, like the Eagles did in 2016, where they traded up twice. I think they went from like 15-9 and then 9-2. Steelers have to go from like 21-2, which is a little bit harder, but I mean that makes sense. Like if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, so we'll see. We're still waiting on Rodgers too. Wilson's signing signals no ability to move up to number 1. That I could see that. I think that's definitely true. John says seems premature to just give him Will Levis guys Moxie. he cost us a lot of money last year with those stupid underhanded throws. Man, that was so bad. I'm laughing now, but it was like it would have been such a better season handicapping if he had just like not been a disaster in the second half of those games. Mike says Cassandra, the Snow White actress, very vocally hates Trump, so all the MAGA people are boycotting the movie. She's just like, she's just such a horrible person. Like all this she's like so entitled. Like I don't know. And the whole movie, like they call her like in the movie they call her Snow White because she survived a snowstorm or something. I don't know. It's like it feels so stupid to remake these movies. Like first of all, like everyone knows Snow White. Like why? First of all, like why would people want to see this movie when they already know the story of Snow White? Like I have a book in my son's room of Snow White, and then so I read it to him sometimes. So when he wants to be read to him, like there's no need to have this new movie. And if we're gonna have a new movie, you had to like make it appealing to the masses somehow. Like I don't know, wasn't that Sleeping Beauty or something? They did something where like Angelina Jolie was the Wicked Witch or whatever, Maleficent. They did it from her perspective. And I think like that's at least somewhat like interesting because like it's telling the story in different perspective. Like if you did like if they did a Snow White as like with like the magic mirror as the main character, I think that would be interesting because like I don't know, like it sounds stupid, but it's better than this crap. Like at least try something, but like all they did was piss off people, and like yeah, of course people aren't going to watch it. So Papa Smurf says, wouldn't it make sense to hire a Super Bowl winning quarterback for 1 year and Russ to compete, mentor your new rookie? But the problem is like I don't see Russell Wilson mentoring anyone. He's just so bad in the locker room. And like I don't know, just like why pay him $21 million? Just doesn't make sense. Like they already paid Winston. I'd rather have Winston mentoring than Russell Wilson. Even, like which sounds crazy because Winston has like some off the field stuff, but like Winston at least is a well liked guy in the locker room. Like people gravitate around him. Like Russell Wilson does not do that at all. I don't see him mentoring anyone. Paulino says Sean and Dable are accepted their fate to be gone by the end of the season. It's probably true. Like which like kind of begs the question like why not just fire them now? If you're going to fire them after the season, it just doesn't make sense to keep them on. That's just why are they doing live action of classic Disney movies? Has anyone liked them? Keep Lion King and Aladdin all animated. No one needs to see literally the same story again. Yeah, I didn't like the live action of either of those. The Lion King, they cut out the best song in the movie. They cut out the one that Scar sings. Be prepared. They cut that out. And I thought the voice acting from John Oliver was horrible. It seemed like he mailed that in. I didn't think it was like the real live action of Lion King. It wasn't like all bad, but the animated is so much better, and there's no reason to watch it. And like, look, I mean, it's anecdotal. I can just use my kids as evidence. Like my kids, when I have, we used to have Disney Plus. We don't have it anymore because they cracked down on password sharing. Whenever they wanted to watch Lion King, they could watch the animated one or the live action one, and they wanted the animated one every time. And so like that just showed me it's like what like why remake this? It seems like such a waste of time to do it. Um, it, like I said before, like if you're gonna do something like that, make it from someone else's perspective. Like show Scar's backstory or something. Like add something to the movie. Like we don't need a complete remake. It's just so lazy. Mike says Wilson hardly seems like a mystery type. Yeah, I agree. I don't see it at all. Beauty and the Beast was decent. I don't think I saw that one. I'll take your word for it. Unless you're joking. I don't. He might be. I don't know. I did not see the Beauty and the Beast live action one, so I can't say if it's good. Cassandra says, "Yeah, I read horrible things about the De Niro movie. I also had no idea it existed. I feel bad for the crew and everyone else who isn't De Niro, who loses money on that, but De Niro can f himself." Exactly. I wouldn't want to see that anyway. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I had no idea this movie existed at all. Like why did they advertise for it? like why even make the movie? Alan says Cleveland should sign Levis and complete the ultimate QB circus combo. Yeah, fortunately Levis is not a free agent. The Titans will have to cut him, but yeah, that would be fun. Cassandra says, Mike, I know I was joking around. That thing looks like trash, and she's clearly a complete idiot. Yeah, that is definitely true. John says a non-animated South Park would interest me. Trump can sing a Blame Canada. That would be fun. I would see that. That'd be great. I mean, I'd watch anything South Park. Patrick says Desire's public persona is incredibly annoying, but he was in Taxi Driver and Goodfellas, aka two of the best movies ever made, so he gets a very small pass. No, look, he's a tremendous actor for sure, like no doubt. But as a person, he's just disgusting and miserable. So it's a shame that he's just not a good person. But you know, I completely agree. He's a phenomenal actor. From Canada's perspective, yeah. Mike says, "Well, did you say Robert De Niro also has a new movie? MAGA will definitely boycott that one." Well, everyone's boycotting it because no one has seen it. It's made like $10 million. Actually, might be less than that. Like literally, like almost no one has saw it. No one has seen it. But like, I didn't even like. Cassandra agreed. Like, no one knew this thing existed. I didn't see a single ad for it, so it's just funny. I don't know. I found that amusing. Sally says, "Hey Walter, I don't think Russell Wilson's skills is on the decline." Oh, I disagree with that. I just think that he struggled to see over the second half of the season because George Pickens is hurt and Arthur Smith calling run plays. Well, look, I mean, Pickens was out there by himself. Yeah, he did miss time for sure. Arthur Smith is a bad coordinator, so you're not wrong about that stuff. But Russell Wilson is clearly on the decline in Denver. Like he had two awful seasons, and you could blame the coaching for the first season, but he had Sean Payton his second season, and we saw Sean Payton what he did with Bo Nix. So like Sean Payton is clearly not washed up as a coach. So something is up with Wilson, and he's going to be 37. So even if like you could say that okay, a couple of years ago it was not his fault, but now that he's almost 37, he's, like I said in November, man, I don't see it. Like he's definitely on the decline. You could argue that it's not as sharp of a decline as I make it out to be, but he's definitely not the quarterback that we saw in Seattle. Like not even close. John says Winston mentoring. Yeah, here's how to throw interceptions. That's like Rashi Rice being a driver's education teacher. That would be a fun movie. I'll see that. Mike says John Sanders, are you disappointed in Trump as I am so far? If he has time to go wrestling tournaments, he has time to ban soccer. I think Trump has done a good job so far. I mean, he's banned a lot of stuff, banned the Department of Education. He's found the USAID fraud and whatnot. He keeps talking about abolishing the income tax. I'm still waiting on that. Like, yeah, it's still early. I know, like, the tax deadline isn't even here yet, and like, this is the 2024 tax season, so that's not even a year that he was in office. So to be fair, he still has time, but I do really want him to abolish taxes, the federal income tax, and I want him to go after the Federal Reserve. I don't know how, but and I feel like his like life would be in danger if he did. But I think investigations are needed for these guys. I know you can't fire Jerome Powell, but you can at least threaten him with some investigations. So that's what I would do. John says no. He's always been all bark and no bite. I disagree. Like first term, yes. for sure. This term, I think he's done a lot so far, and it's only been 2 months so far, so he still has a lot of time. I think he's done quite a bit so far. Sue says on Monday about 10 shares of Tesla just because. Nice, good job. I thought about buying calls on Tesla. I did not. I did buy puts, not financial advice. I did buy puts on Southwest Airlines. That's stock ticker LUV. This is way far out puts. This is 2027. On the Tim Cash show, Vino Mom, who's she's done a lot of investigating and like private equity stuff. She was adamant that Southwest Airlines is going to go bankrupt within a year. So I bought $15 and $20 puts. The stock right now is at $34.70. So if it goes to zero, those puts will be worth thousands of dollars. So that's fingers crossed. That's what I did. Also, I still have my GameStop shares. Mike says I just got a great idea. Tesla electric fire extinguishers. Yeah, I mean, they already have cameras in them. Might as well put the new models will have fire extinguishers. I think that'd be pretty cool. John says, I don't think he alone could ban the federal income tax. What happened to checks and balances? I mean, it was. It's what amendment is that? Is it the 19th? No, it's not the 19th. Whatever amendment that is. Yeah, I know he alone can't do it, but he can get the process started. Stanley says, hey, Walt, with the Giants signing Russell Wilson, do you think they still draft the quarterback number 3 pick? But it depends on how they feel about Shedeur Sanders. If they like Shedeur Sanders, Russell Wilson is not going to stop them from drafting Shedeur Sanders at number 3 overall. If they don't like Shedeur Sanders, then they were not going to draft him anyway. So yeah, I mean, it depends on how they feel. It's the 16th Amendment, by the way, the federal income tax. So yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson signing has any bearing on this. What it could have is a bearing on how they feel about Sanders, because like, why would they sign 2 quarterbacks if they like Sanders, unless they're convinced the Browns are going to take Sanders? So they could just be like, it's kind of weird to say that that Sanders is or Russell Wilson's an insurance policy. Like, it's weird to say that, but it could, like, in their mind it could be, I guess, because like if they're like, okay, if we can't get Sanders, then at least we have Wilson and Winston, and it's like, okay, and then you have 2 bad quarterbacks, okay. So I don't know. So like this signing might hint that they don't like Sanders. So that's what I'm saying. But in a vacuum, if they're still undecided on Sanders, Wilson's not going to change their minds. John says, Garrett, Diggs, Pickens gave up all that money just to be on Super Bowl teams. Warms my heart. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those guys really care about winning. It is very inspirational. Let's give them an award for that. That'd be nice. So it says, compared to what has transpired 12 of the last 16 years, Trump, even at his worst, could not disappoint me. That's 100% true. We've had some awful presidents, even before 16 years. We had. I was no fan of W. Bush. I obviously didn't like Clinton. H.W. Bush, I was not good either. I think Reagan was the last good president we had, and even he had his missteps. Like, he had no fault divorce. He had the thing that he did in California to ensure that, like, he gave citizenship to those to the people in California, and that turned into a blue state. He closed the mental health facilities, the psychotic wards. So he had some bad stuff in his presidency too. But I think as a whole he was good, but he was not perfect. I mean, no one's perfect, but he had some mistakes as well. But he was probably the best in my lifetime before Trump. But then again, I was 6 when he left office, so I didn't really remember him too much. Brandon says Diggs demanded to go somewhere he could get some boutte. Yeah, someone was probably like, yeah, you get some boutte in New England. He's like, okay, let me go sign there and get 69 million, 69 and boutte. Nice. Henry Eagle says they changed the movie. They were so woke they wouldn't hire midgets to play the dwarves. Yeah, exactly. Prince Charming was removed and is now a thief. Pathetic. Wasn't that the Huntsman? Is it the thief or the huntsman? You know, I actually thought about this the other day because I was reading these books to my son, and then I like obviously this movie was on my mind too. Why are all the Disney movies about the princesses? I know, I guess there's some exceptions like Aladdin, like, but even like Jasmine's just like such a major figure there. But like in the like, and I thought about this while reading Cinderella because my son is that book too. Like the prince in, or the handsome prince or charming prince, whatever his name is in Cinderella, he has no lines in the book. Like he has no personality. Like why not make a movie about like the charming prince or the handsome prince? Like I think that would be interesting. I don't know, like have a like a male role model for my son or something. Like it's all princesses, which like you know it's like good for my daughter and like little girls, but like they don't have like make a movie called The Charming Prince. Like have give him a backstory. Like show the challenges he went through. And I know like yeah he's a prince. Like what challenges? But I'm sure that you could think of something. I don't know. I think it'd be interesting. Anyway, we have. Do you think Barack Obama was a better president than Joe Biden? Well, Joe Biden was a corpse in the office. Like I don't think he did anything, which I guess makes him better, right? Um, I don't know, man. They're both awful. They're both utterly awful. At least the economy was better under Obama. Like the economy was truly like a train wreck under Biden. So I would have to think Obama was better than Biden. They both suck though. I just really terrible. Patrick says it's been a rough past few weeks in this administration with the bombing of Yemen. Yeah, I don't like that. Attacking Massey. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Department of Education was a huge move, and ending funding for the USAID. Yeah, yeah. Look, there's some good, some bad. I don't agree with everything Trump does. It's funny that like leftists are like oh the cult loves Trump. Like it's like no, Trump's gotten booed at his own rallies when he brought up the quote unquote vaccine. You know. And I really don't like him attacking Massey at all. Massey's one of the best congressmen that we have. Like he like shame on him for thinking his mind. You know, like I don't understand why he's attacking him. Bombing Yemen, not a fan of that either. I know he said like circumstances have changed. They're like blocking shipping lanes. So like there might be more to it than we know, but I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Cassandra says, Walt, you don't really want a Disney role model for your kids. True, true. Yeah, we can make our own thing, I guess. With AI, we could write a we could write something good, right? We could make our own movie, and I guess like it's not gonna be too far, you know, from now that like you're gonna be able to type something into AI and like have it turn into a movie and like that you can watch. Like I don't, it might be what like 10, 15 years away or something, maybe even sooner. I think that'd be interesting. The other night, last night at dinner, my son just randomly was like, "Mommy, tell me a story." And my wife was like, I don't want to tell you a story." I'm like, well, let's ask Grok. And like, I was like, "Hey, tell me a story I can read to my 3-year-old son." And then I was like, Conrad, what do you want to read about? And he's like, Paw Patrol. So they wrote him a Paw Patrol story. And then I was like, hey, incorporate the two dogs we have. I have two dogs named Sherlock and Raven. And so Grok wrote a story for him involving my two dogs. And so it was actually pretty good. My son got a kick out of it. And so, you know, they have that now. You'll be able to like make your own movie. And I think that like people are going to be their own creators, and like the most voted up movies will probably be like featured, and you'll be able to watch like other creations and stuff like that. And all be AI, and you know, it'll be pretty cool. So we can make our charming Prince movies then. Actually says Biden's the worst of my lifetime. Playing nuclear chicken with Russia the last few weeks of office really cemented that. Yeah, that's definitely fair. Yeah, I do think Biden was worse. I would say, in fairness, I think the Biden administration was worse than Obama, because I don't think Biden was like lucid at all. Like it was people like controlling him. Like I don't think he made any decisions on his own. I don't even think he like dressed himself. Like he was just so decrepit by the end of it. It just seemed like he just wasn't like anywhere close to being lucid. So like how like what did he do exactly? You know, Obama is a communist. I agree totally. Communism is awful. My family escaped communism here. They had to flee the USSR back in the 80s or 70s. Mike says the big question: which animated character is hotter, Snow White or Cinderella? Well, I mean, if you're if it's just those two, I mean, I think Cinderella was hotter, but my vote is for Jasmine personally. But Cinderella, Cinderella. I think I don't know. It's like with Snow White, it's like pale white skin and like dark black hair. It's kind of weird, you know. I don't know. I guess it could be good, but it's not my type, you know. Cassandra says President Trump's part of the British Commonwealth thing is also awful. Yeah, I think he jokes around with some of that stuff, you know. Patrick says the media never attacks his worst; they attack usually his best. CNN and Brian Williams love, but yeah, they did. They really loved they said that he was presidential for the first time when he bombed Syria, and as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, this can't be good, can it? Like if all these media scumbags like praise them, did they praise the bombing of Yemen? I haven't heard anything about that. I mean, the national media is dying. Like, and if they ban pharmaceutical ads, like they're gonna be dead. No one's gonna be advertising on their networks anymore. So I don't know if that's actually true. I saw a story that RFK was thinking about banning pharmaceutical ads on those shows, but I think that was a hoax from what I heard. I don't think that was real because there's like First Amendment involved or something. I don't know. But if it does happen, then those networks are going to cease to exist because no one's going to advertise on them. Mike says Walt and Quacky should make an anime movie. I would pay to see that. I'm down. I'm down. We'll have to brainstorm what it's going to be as soon as this comes out. As soon this like AI movie making thing I was talking about comes out, I will definitely do something with Quacky for sure. That says Blinken is the one who okayed the missiles. He's the worst Secretary of State in my lifetime. That's for sure. Yeah, he's horrible. I completely agree with that. Stan says, "Hey Walter, what's the cause of both Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris losing the election?" Well, Hillary Clinton was completely unlikable. No one liked her at all. And so it was funny. She thought she had it in the bag. She called half the country deplorables, which Biden did too, by the way. He well, let me pull up the shirt, right? He said, where is the shirt? Right here. He called Trump supporters garbage. And so that is the genesis of the shirt. Garbage is great. Or no. It was hold on. That's not the right one. There it is. I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide which one I liked more. So make garbage great again. I think this is the best one. And this Muppet on the shirt, I asked Grok to make me an image of an orange Muppet with Trump's hair and a red Trump hat. So that's what I came up with. So yeah, make garbage great again. Yeah. So I mean, both of them did that, and I know Biden didn't run the second time because he was forced out. The thing is, like, no one liked Kamala either. She didn't get a single delegate when she was in the primary of 2020. You know, no one liked her. I don't even think she's going to win governorship in California. I think she's probably the favorite right now, but I think there's a decent chance she loses too. So these are like two very unlikable candidates. Like Kamala had that cackle that was just like so like it was like nails on the chalkboard, and like Hillary Clinton, like no one likes Hillary. Like how could you possibly vote for Hillary? Like she's disgusting. She's a warmonger. I read a book called. Man, what was it called? It was about the Secret Service agent who worked under Bush and the Clintons, and he saw everything in the White House, and he like pointed out stuff that Hillary Clinton did all the time. She would treat the people around her like such disdain, like they're just like awful. She threw a lamp at Bill at one point. And he had the author of this book, or I should say, the Secret Service agent, because he didn't actually write the book. Actually, my brother-in-law's brother wrote the book. Yeah, I wish I could think of the book name. But no, he the Secret Service agent also talked about some of the stuff that Bill Clinton did with Monica Lewinsky and stuff like that. Like he said that like Monica Lewinsky would show up like this short dress and like a blue thong, and she would just like show it off to like everyone. it was pretty good. I got to I have to come up with that book name. I don't know where. I forget what it's called. I have it on my bookshelf upstairs. So if I don't think of it or if you can't find it, as I'm talking, which is difficult. If I had a guess, I could probably search easily. Um, I'll definitely tell you guys the book name tomorrow. But yeah, I can't. Yes, but yeah, my brother-in-law's brother, his name is Grant Schmidt. He wrote the book. He's a great guy too. So I will definitely I'll definitely tell you guys what it is. Once I remember what the name is. But I read the book. It's quite good. Patrick says, I don't think they're praising the bombing Yemen. Instead, they are just ignoring it. Well, I guess it makes sense. CNN was on while I was lifting tonight, so got the chance to see what they were talking about. Yeah, I don't mind listening, watching CNN. Like it's all crap, but I like to hear what the idiots are saying. So like actually during the election, after like our 4 hour show, I turned on either CNN or MSNBC just to like see what the other side was saying. But that makes sense that they are ignoring it because like they can't praise Trump anymore, right? They definitely can't. Um, John says inflation doomed the Democrats no matter who ran. That's definitely true. Like they couldn't like because Kamala said she was on a show. I can't remember what show. It might have been The View, and someone asked her, "What would you have done differently than Joe Biden?" And she said nothing. She wouldn't have done anything different, and like that just ruined her because the Biden administration, the economy is just so bad. She could at least said like, "Hey, I wouldn't have done like closed the pipelines or something," which like most people wouldn't have understood. Because some people voted for Biden in Pennsylvania, even though he said he was going to close the Keystone Pipeline, and then like people were like caught off guard by it, and I'm like, did you not watch the debate? But even the moderator in the debate was like, when he said he was going to close the pipeline, the moderator was like, oh, why'd you say that? Like she like she like face palmed, and she's like, why'd you say that? Like they're not causing the election at all. And people just don't pay attention, I guess. So she could have said something like that, and like the people who were paying attention could be like, "Oh, okay, that's good." And then the people like the people who aren't paying attention, they wouldn't have known. But at least she would have said something. But she said nothing. Like she would have done the same thing. And she's kind of like this vapid person. Like there's no personality there at all, unless she's talking about cooking. She really gets animated when she talks about cooking, which like she should instead of being governor, she should run her own Netflix show, like a cooking show, like Kamala's Kitchen or something. Kamala's Cooking or something. Kamala's Kitchen sounds pretty good. She should do that because she actually likes cooking. Like if you find any clip of her talking about cooking, like her face lights up. Like she loves doing it. Like she's like, oh, I put this in there. I put this spice. Like she gets so excited. But when she's trying to be presidential, quote unquote presidential, or kind of like political, she seems like she's so unhappy. And I think she just wants power. Like she's just a horrible person. But yeah, I mean, look, the economy was so bad. If the economy was doing great, like she probably would have won. But the economy was terrible, and yeah, like no one wanted this. Patrick says when Kamala's foreign policy was Russia is a big country and Ukraine is a little country. Their vision is bad. Quote. That was all I had to hear. Plus, voting for her would be the same cabinet as Biden. Yeah, look, she's had some very questionable quotes like that. Yeah, I don't think she understands most things. Um, like I said, I think she just wants power. She's gotten to the top. How she's gotten to the top. So she kind of doesn't belong there. So yeah, she's both like horrible and dumb at the same time. So yeah, I don't. That was a horrible choice to replace her with Biden. I couldn't believe it. I was when that happened. I was actually in Las Vegas, and it was the only day I had off because I was working the other days, and it was the day before I had to go back, and so I was just like relaxing in the pool, and the news broke, and like there's this annoying DJ at the pool. It's so like I don't know, it's so insufferable. Like he was so loud and obnoxious. They used one of those DJs like who's here from New York? Raise your hand. Like it's like, come on, dude, just shut up, just play music. So as soon as he got the news, he's like, oh, looks like we might get our first black woman in office. Woo! It's like like there's some people like who booed him. Is he yelled that? And like I heard him say that, I'm like, Kamala's not winning. Like, come on, man. But I don't know. I was kind of far away, so I couldn't like yell that. But Jaden Blue running a 4.25, 4.28 is per day. Wow, that's awesome. Don't think Dems have a proper primary since 2004 earlier. Yeah, they didn't really have a primary. Like This time they just staged a coup and and ousted Biden. It's like, okay. Um, to be fair though, like I don't know who would have ran though. Like I like Josh Shapiro, the governor of Pennsylvania, allegedly turned down the vice president role because the economy was, I assume, because the economy is so poor that he couldn't win, so he just didn't want to waste, kind of waste himself there. So I think that's why they had to settle on Tim Walz. It was just awful, but I don't think they had a better choice. So yeah, I mean, maybe they just threw it away. Mike says, "How do people keep voting for these idiots? Kamala Newsom, Hillary Sanders, AOC Schumer." I think Nancy Pelosi said it. She said you could have a glass of water and slap a D on it, and people would vote for it, which is true. Sad, but true. I don't understand how people vote just political party. Like, I just never made any sense to me. I'm registered as Republican, but I'm independent, like, through and through. I don't like either party. I like the Republicans more than Democrats because I at least like have a conversation with Republicans, whereas Democrats are just completely insane. But I don't like why is it a party? Like, it feels like you should just vote for the better candidate most times. The last time, not 2024, but in 2022, I think I voted for two Republicans, two no, there's two Republicans, one Democrat, and I forget what exactly I voted for, but it was like a 2-1-2 split of how I voted. So yeah, I just don't get like just voting for a political party. It seems so stupid to me. But yeah, it was. Hold on. Yeah, okay. It was two Republican, two Libertarian, one Democrat. I think that's how it went. Yeah, so I just did my research beforehand and I voted for the best candidate. So I think people should do the same, but like most people just vote like that, they just vote down ballot no matter what, and I think that's awful. And I think that I think there should be requirements to vote. I said that before. I feel like you should have like at least one of the four. You should have you should be you should own property, or you should own a business. You should have kids. You should be married and have kids, or you should have served in the military or as a first responder. I think that you should require like one of the four to vote, because if you don't have any of those four, you really don't have a stake in the future in this country. And it's like you're just voting for yourself at that point, whereas like you're not voting for the future. And I think that it's great to vote for the future. But then again, I'm libertarian, so I think that I think people should be able to vote like no matter what. But at the same time, I think it would be better off if they did it that way. I think you'd have so many better candidates in office if people who had a stake in it voted, and not like cat ladies in cities who just care about themselves and their cats. Stanley says, I think Trump is doing a good job, except I don't like how he's being too pro-Israel. Well, I mean, he's always been pro-Israel. He moved the capital there and stuff like that. I mean, look, I'm Israel over Palestine, so but I don't think we should be sending money anywhere, like to no one. I don't think we should be sending money out to anyone just because we're in such rough shape. I wonder if Kamala has ever heard of Rachmaninoff. Probably think that's like a dish or something, right? Who do you think are Democrats even run in 2028? Newsom. People are fleeing California. AOC. LOL. Bernie. Don't think Tulsi for confirmation hearing, amongst other things. I think it's going to be Newsom. I know people are fleeing California, but he's trying to become way more moderate. He's doing that podcast. He did a show with Charlie Kirk. I think that he's kind of like reshaping himself. And Newsom is the ultimate chameleon. When he's in office, he's awful, but when he's campaigning, he's great. Like he's just. I'm not saying he's like a great person, but he's a great political candidate because he can sound so good. Like he did a debate with DeSantis a while back, a few years ago, and people came away. Even Republicans were like, they came away thinking Newsom won the debate, and I remember thinking like, how is that possible? Because California's in shambles, Florida's doing so great. And like after the debate, like they fact checked Newsom and like nothing he said was correct. Like he just said like all this nonsense, but like he just presents himself so well that like people believe what he's saying. and so I just think that he's going to reshape himself and become more moderate. And look, it's all about where the money's going to go, because like who's gonna pump money into AOC? Bernie's not even really Democrat; he's an independent. Like they're never going to run Bernie. Um, DNC is going to pick whomever they want, and it's going to be the person who gets the most money. And who are the people going to donate to? I think it's going to be Newsom. I can't think of anyone else. Um, Gretchen Whitmer, I just don't think so. Like Josh Shapiro, I mean, he's Jewish. I don't think that like the far left, crazy people aren't going to vote for a Jewish person. So I really think it's Newsom, unless like we are missing someone. I can't think of anyone at the moment. I really think it's going to be Newsom, despite the California being terrible. I think he's going to be able to convince people that it wasn't his fault. I think he's going to blame Trump for it. Trump was in office for 8 of the past 12 years, and he's going to say stuff like that. And he's going to convince people, and he's going to be charming and stuff like that. And they're going to throw money his way, and I think he's going to be the candidate. I think he's going to be difficult to beat. And I do think that JD Vance will win right now. If I had a bet, I think it would be Vance. But I think that I think Vance will win if the economy is good. If the economy is bad, still bad, then Newsom's definitely gonna have a shot. But the economy is improving. Like the prices in the grocery store are definitely dropping. Like you hear, like it's funny, the first month Trump was in office, everyone on the left was like, oh, look at the price of eggs. Trump hasn't lowered the price of eggs. And it had to do with Biden like calling all the chickens, killing millions of chickens. And then like now egg prices have plummeted, and you don't hear anything about it. But I mean, they have definitely gone down. Like the prices of stuff have definitely gone down. The price, here's evidence. Like the prices of these shirts have gone down. These shirts were 25% off in December, and they were like $18, $19. You can even like play one of the videos. I'm like, oh, $18, $19 for sure. It's a good deal in this economy. And now they're $13 with 20% off. So, I mean, like, I know this is anecdotal, but like, I mean, just look at the grocery store. Just go to the grocery store. You see the prices dropping. Now, they're still higher than they were before, but they're definitely a lot lower than they were under Biden. So, if this continues, it's going to be tough for Vance to get out of office. And I think that the memes are definitely going to help Vance too. Like the fact that like everyone's doing those JD Vance memes, I think that's going to help him a lot. That's kind of reminds me of like Trump was memed into office, kind of like the same thing with JD Vance. Mike says, if you asked Kamala about Rachmaninoff, she'd say it's a Russian diplomat. I would say Russian dish. Like it's like, oh, do you have you serve borscht with that? Yeah, not that she would know what borscht is, but I think she would do that. Yeah, slap a Diona. Exactly. Yeah, it's horrible. Like people shouldn't vote down ballots. It's just awful. That says Russiagate alone should make you never trust Democratic Party, national security apparatus, and major newspapers. Power grids, Trump hotel phones, Hunter's laptop. Russia controls it all. Russia. Yeah, everyone is like, oh, Putin masterminded everything. It's like they barely have like running water there. Like he's not this crazy mastermind. He's not a good person by any means, but like he's not like manipulating everything. Like people say that like he controls Trump, which is ridiculous because Trump threatened to blow up all the golden domes in Russia. That's what Trump said. Trump called him and said, if you invade Ukraine, I will blow up your beautiful golden domes. Yeah, Putin's manipulating him. Yeah, sure. It's so stupid. Why would he not be pro-Israel? Yeah, I mean, like they're not the ones. Like I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I mean, they're the good guys, I think, in the scenario, in my opinion, at least in the conflict. But I understand there's nuance to it, and like I said, I don't think we should be sending money to anyone. But I think you definitely have to root for the people who don't want to end our existence. Brendan says Israel were the only friends that they had that were strong enough to help save his butt against the establishment trying to impersonate and assassinate him. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's definitely true. I mean, there's speculation that Iran was behind it. I don't even know if that's true, but that's what their speculation was. And so if that is true, then you obviously want to be on Israel's side. Might as well run Stephen A. Smith. Oh, you know what? He's an interesting candidate. I don't know if he's going to want to run, but Jon Stewart, I think, would be kind of like this populist guy who people would vote for. Not saying that like he would be a good president, but I think that he would be someone that I think that the mainstream people would want to vote for, something like that. So again, I don't know if he wants to run, but I think that he would make sense. Um, Dem party split in half after October 7th. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like half of them hate Israel, half of them support Israel. Like it's crazy. There's a Disney movie idea, American Psycho 3 starring Gavin Newsom. Yeah, he destroys California instead of like kills people. Um, Newsom is scary. He's so far left. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's like with Newsom, I feel like he kind of like goes like he kind of it's kind of like he goes where the wind goes. I don't think I don't think he like has a real personality. Like he feels like he's like perfect for California because like he's a great actor. Like he plays the role of governor so well. I don't know if he has a personality though. So I don't know if he's like far left. He's definitely on the left, but I don't know if he's not like one of these crazy cat ladies. I don't know. I don't know how he thinks. I think didn't he used to be? I think Newsom used to be a Republican. Like if I'm not mistaken. I just think he just goes wherever the populace where he believes the population wants him to go. I think he'll just do anything for power, which is kind of scary. Brandon says the Democratic platform in 2028 will be the same as in 2008, promising a big social welfare package that they promised to deliver on, attempting to buy off everyone off. Yeah, I mean, that's always been the case, like handing out freebies and stuff. Biden promising to pay for student loans, like this. It's like, how's that not how's not bribery to like pay for people's stuff? Like, hey, vote for me, I'll pay you. Like, how's that legal? It's just so stupid. Yeah, I mean, look, it's just I don't like I don't get this like freebie stuff, this freebie culture. Like, I don't know. I feel like you should have to earn what you get. Like, I don't know. Um, I don't know. I just maybe it's why I don't like. I've never played the lottery. Like not that I would turn down free money. It just I don't know. It just feels like undeserved. Mike says Walt is doing his share to reverse inflation. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I have no controls on these prices. Like I get 15% of these sales, and that's locked in. So it's all Zazzle here. This website they control the prices. So I would love to take care of that, but I would love to take credit for that. But I'm not responsible for this at all. With Russia, Stan says Russia and Ukraine at a ceasefire. Do you think the price of goods and services will drop? So will stop dropping drastically? I don't know why they would drop. I think they, or I think, or I don't think why. I don't know why they'd stop dropping. I think they will continue to drop. I don't see why they would stop dropping. So yeah. Factions. I think Iran is the boogeyman to blame for everything too. Yeah. Even Trump admitted last month they aren't building nuclear weapons along with the CIA director Burns. Yeah, they definitely are a boogeyman. I think was it John Bolton? Was it John Bolton who says we'll celebrate in Tehran? Like they just want to invade Iran. They'll come up with any reason. It's truly horrible. John says Jon Stewart is so cynical when it comes to politics that he'd never want to be a part of it. That's maybe true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That like I don't know if he'd run, but he is political. And if he decided that maybe he'll have a change of heart, maybe like I need to save this country or something, something that he would do. I think that he would have a decent chance of winning if the economy was doing poorly. But if it's doing well, then I can't see. I think it would be very difficult for Vance to lose if the economy is doing well. Brandon says Newsom is just a psychopath. Bill Clinton is grooming him. Yeah, he is. I think he has some. I think he has some of that in his system for sure. Okay. Sue says Spawn -115 over Finau and DraftKings. Yes or no? I don't have Bookmaker. Well, first of all, you should get Bookmaker. It's a great book. But Spawn -115 over Finau. I think it's okay. I didn't see the matchups earlier. I assume that they're up now. So I'll take a look later tonight. That's not a bad number. If Finau is definitely hurt, then yeah, it should be a winner. Yeah, as I said on the site, I think it sounds like Finau and Wyndham Clark are both hurt. It's not my data. It's not my info. It's stuff I heard. But if that's true, then Spawn should win. Yeah. I do think Spawn is overpriced this week. John says, "Hey, I made out on Clash Cash for Clunkers. Nice." Patch says Colbert is by far the worst. Yeah, his vaccine video, the vaccine, yeah, or having Gideon Rose from Foreign Affairs magazine telling in explicit detail how U.S. Caused coup in Ukraine in 2014 on the show. Yeah, Colbert sucks. I really hate Colbert. Jon Stewart, I feel like at least like I feel like he's naive, but like I think he at least means well. Whereas like Colbert is just like vile and disgusting. Ben says my ex girlfriend was on the NSC. John Brennan was her direct supervisor. She helped make the national security briefing for Bush and Obama every morning. Oh wow, that's pretty crazy. And he also says Newsom flew down to Mexico to have private meetings with Bill Clinton out of the spotlight. Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you want like Bill Clinton mentoring you, although I mean he was successful as a politician, so I guess there's that. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I think Newsom is probably the favorite to be the Democratic candidate for 2028. But you know, a lot can change in the next 3 years. John says the CJ Stroud's MVP odds go up now that Diggs went to another team. Very nice. Yeah, I don't know. I assume you're just joking, obviously, but I don't know what CJ Stroud's MVP odds are. I worries about the offensive line, but at least they signed a couple of guys, and you know now they have. I think they might get Josh Connerly in my mock draft. I guess we'll get to that in a second. Patrick says Jimmy Fallon to never forget. See you later. A Wheezy comment. Jimmy Fallon too. Yeah, I never forget the see you later Wheezy comment. Yeah, yeah. I don't like Fallon. I definitely hate Colbert more than Fallon. I think Fallon, like in the past, he seemed to like be hesitant to get political, and I think that they told him to get more political. And then he just became one of these like insufferable people. Like, I think Jimmy Kimmel's worse than Fallon. Now is he worse than Colbert? I don't know. I think they're both terrible. What Jimmy Kimmel did to one of his good friends and workers. If you haven't heard the story, Jimmy Kimmel's longtime friend was a worker on the show, and he just fired him because he wouldn't get the quote unquote vaccine. It just horrible behavior. Oh, Kimmel. Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah, Kimball sucks. Yeah, Miss Letterman, Conan. You know what? I never watched the late night shows. It just never really like my type of TV show. But I mean, from what I've seen from them, they were better. Conan, I still think is he still has a show, doesn't he, on TBS, or did that get canceled? Because I know he moved to TBS. Sin says, "Hey Walter, with the Giants signing Russell Wilson, even though it might not make them a playoff team, but I think that makes them a better team than the Cowboys." I think Russell Wilson is neutral to Winston. I think they're both. I think I prefer Winston actually over Russell Wilson. So if you're starting Wilson over Winston, I think that makes your team worse. I don't know. I think Wilson has a higher floor than Winston because Winston can have some 5 interception games, you know. But I think Winston has more upside than Wilson at this point. So. I don't know. They're both bad teams. They're both teams that are not going to make the playoffs, you know. We'll see, though. Brandon says Texans have an OC that has coached people before and does more than just copy-pasting Shanahan plays. Yeah. Or like, oh, man, that was so bad last year. Just like running the ball nonstop. It was so predictable. Like, especially when Joe Mixon was out, they would still run the ball on first and second down with Cam Akers. It just wouldn't work. It was horrible. Yeah, just yeah. I mean, it will be better this year for sure. Cassandra says looks as though Stroud's longest MVP is 25-1 seems crazy short. Yeah, I don't see Stroud winning MVP. You know, I feel like it's gonna be Jane Daniels or Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen, like one of those. Maybe I would have said Jalen Hurts, but there's Saquon Barkley to kind of cancel him out. If Barkley gets hurt and the Eagles do well, I think Hurts will definitely be in the running. I have to say those 5 are the favorites. Joe Burrow too. I think those 6, like one of those 6 will win. Patrick says Craig Ferguson was the man. Loved the show. It was very absurd. Its humor. Really missed the late show with him. I honestly never watched that. Like I said, I was never a fan of those late shows. But yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for it about like Craig Ferguson. So. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we had a couple other signings, by the way. Uh, got sidetracked a little bit. That's fine. The Browns signed Tevin Jenkins. We talked about this a little bit. We have a figure now, 1 year, $3 million. I don't get the signing at all. Jenkins is, he's a really good guard. I think he was the best interior lineman on the market, and he went to Seattle and didn't sign. So like Seattle offered him less than this. Like why didn't they just offer him 3.5 million? Like I don't get this for Jenkins because I feel like he could have gotten more. And then the Browns, I was questioning like why would they sign Jenkins? They have two really good guards. And, like now we know why because they got a cheap guy for depth. Like why not get Tevin Jenkins for 3 million? Like he needs a new agent. I believe his agent is let me see. I think I have it up here. It is where's Tevin Jenkins? It is Joel Siegel from WME Sports. Tevin Jenkins, you need a new agent. Fire Joe Siegel and get yourself a new agent. Let's see. Brent says I never watched a Greg Ferguson episode, but there's a lot on YouTube. That's true. Yeah, you can always find it on YouTube. I was just never into the whole like genre of the Late Show. Like you have the opening bit, and then you have like the guests. The opening bit was fine. I like the opening bit. I just never like the guests never interested me. Like I just don't care about like people in Hollywood or anything or musicians. Like I just don't really care what they have to say. And it's even like I even care less now because like if you really want to hear what they have to say, you just subscribe to them on Twitter or something or follow them on Twitter. Like now they can just talk about whatever they want to talk about. It just feels like obsolete now. The boss says JJ MC MVP is the best bet. If they have the top record, he'll be in hedge territory. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, if the Vikings have the best record, they might consider JJ McCarthy. JJ. Okay, I thought you meant Justin Jefferson, and for some reason I thought MC meant McCaffrey. I see. JJ McCarthy. Yes. For sure. Yeah, I was like disagreeing with you by even though I agree with you. No, JJ McCarthy MVP. Yeah, what are those odds? Because I like that because if the Vikings do have the best record, they're going to give it to McCarthy for sure. I was about to say, like, I don't think Jefferson's going to get it. I thought JJ was Justin Jefferson. So, no, I agree, the boss. I totally agree. Stanley says, do you think the Baltimore Ravens will be the top team in the AFC next season? Well, that's the signing we didn't talk about. They signed Chidobe Awuzie. That cornerback was a major problem for them last year. Em and I disagreed on their pass defense, but whenever they were challenged against the pass, like they were terrible. And now they got Awuzie, who's a big upgrade as long as he can stay healthy. So I do think that their defense will be better. However, I think that there are some issues that they have. Like Lamar Jackson he missed the final parts of 2 seasons recently. Yeah, Derrick Henry's 31. There is a hole in the offensive line in the interior that they need to address. I don't think cornerback is completely fixed. Their edge rush isn't that great. So like they do have some liabilities, but at the same time, if Awuzie can stay healthy, that's going to solve a major problem for them. And so I could definitely see them winning the Super Bowl for sure. I don't know if they're going to be the top team. I would make it the Bills, but I think the Ravens are definitely in the mix for that. Sue says if the Rams have a crazy good season, could Stafford be MVP? Brady was 40 when he won MVP. I guess it's possible. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has Devontae Adams now and Puka Nacua. So he has the weapons. He has the offensive line. He has the great coaching. Yeah, and Stafford for sure could win MVP. I think that'd be a good bet if the odds are good. I suppose we could look them up in a second. John says problem with McCarthy is they'll claim he had all the success because of O'Connell. Yeah, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. There's some validity to that, but if they have the best record in the NFL, like it has to be some McCarthy, right? I don't know. I think he'd get consideration. Wow, is that 100-1? Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I think I might do that too. So it says I think Minnesota Vikings is the best team in the NFC. Yeah, did you see FanDuel rank the teams in the NFC? I don't know why FanDuel's ranking teams because they're taking bets. But they ranked all the teams in the NFC. They had the Vikings 10th. So it's like what? They improved their roster this offseason, and they were 14-3 last year. Just makes no sense. Eagles are better. Yeah, I would rank Eagles 1, and then I think I'd have the Vikings 2, and then Redskins 3. I know Cassandra's going to laugh at me. Redskins 3, Or no, you know what? Maybe the Rams 3, Redskins 4. It's so that conference is so good, and then Lions 5 because they lost 2 coordinators. The Niners have to be up there somewhere, and then I suppose then you get to like the Packers, and then the Bears, and then the I don't know what's maybe the Buccaneers. That conference is loaded. I've got the Rams at 2 given the schedule. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the NFC West has a very easy schedule because they had the NFC South and AFC South this year, which is it's gonna give them a lot of wins. Let's pull up those odds, by the way, those MVP odds. So let's see. I still have the Justin Thomas. This hurts. Justin Thomas win only. Have that from Saturday show. Let's see. NFL awards, and then okay. So let's look at staff. So yeah, Stroud's 25 to 1. We have okay. So Lamar Jackson plus 450, Josh Allen 550, Joe Burrow 6 to 1, Mahomes 8 to 1. I like Jane Daniels 9 to 1. It's like not great odds, but given that I have them winning the Super Bowl or I bet them to win the Super Bowl, I think that's of like all these 5, like he has the best numbers. So I feel like you can hedge that a little bit. So I don't mind that. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but I think it's worth a shot. Let's see, Hurts 17 to 1, as I said. Like I think Barkley needs to get hurt. Herbert 18 to 1, Goff 25 to 1, Stroud 25 to 1, and then we get to Stafford is 40 to 1. That seems pretty incredible. I like the only issue with Stafford is that he's not going to scramble for touchdowns, and I feel like you need to be able to run for touchdowns because it makes your stats look so much better. But at 40 to 1, that seems like a great number. And then yeah, let's see. I don't know. The boss. I don't know what sports book you were looking at for the 100 to 1. I don't know if it's here, but let's look at McCarthy. Yeah, it's 100 to 1. Yeah, I think that's definitely worth a shot. 100 to win 10,000, or won't let you win. Won't let you wager 1,000. You could bet 300 to win 30,000. That's nice. But yeah, 100 to win 10,000. I think I'm going to do it. I think that's definitely worth it. Although it would suck if they signed Brett Favre, right? Maybe it's like best to wait until Brett Favre signs and then bet it. So I might hold off until that. Not that I think they're going to sign Brett Favre, but just in case, like there is a slight chance they sign him. So I would just worry about that at the moment. Let's see. John says if I'm right about the Rams and Stafford is a little juicy there. Yeah, 40 to 1 seems incredible. That's a great number for him. Do you think Justin Fields will make the Jets a playoff team? No, not at all. They have a lot of issues right now. Their defense is not as good as it was in 2023. They really missed John Franklin-Myers. They lost DJ. They lost one of the cornerbacks, Reed, and then they have other issues too. Like they lost Devontae Adams. Their coach is a first-time coach. Fields, he has upside. Like maybe if Fields finally becomes what people thought he'd be, then maybe they can make a run. But I don't really don't think so. Cassandra says I was in the other room with headphones on. Yes, I did laugh at the Redskins. Why are you so down on the Redskins? I think they're a good team. They traded for Marshawn Lattimore late in the year. They traded for Laramie Tunsil. They traded for Deebo Samuel. Like this team is really good. Like they don't have that many liabilities. Like they could use another edge rusher, but maybe that's what they drafted at 29. I don't know. Their offensive line's good. The running game is a little suspect, but Jane Daniels is. I mean, he's incredible. Now he has McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. Noah Brown resigned. He's fine. Zach Ertz is there. The defense defense was solid last year. wasn't bad, and now they have Marshawn Lattimore. And so yeah, I mean, I would like to see them add another edge rusher, but for the most part, I think they've done a good job overall. And Dan Quinn did take a team to the Super Bowl. So Ben says NFC North will be a slugfest next year. Yeah, they could all make the playoffs. It's really a stacked division. Sanchez says I have to say I do like their offseason so far. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear it. John says people are afraid the Redskins will turn into last year's Texans. Yeah, but like there have been so many instances of second-year quarterbacks doing well. Like Carson Wentz was taking his teams to the Super Bowl before he got hurt. Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl in his second year. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl in his second year. Like just because one quarterback struggled, I don't think that means that Jane Daniels is going to struggle. It could obviously happen, but I don't know. It feels like Jane Daniels has the pieces around them. I guess like heading into last season, like we thought Stroud did too, because they're getting Tank Dell back. They signed Diggs, not that like an older Diggs is going to be the solution, but still. But yeah, I mean, it just seemed like the Texans were going to be a good team. They signed Joe Mixon, but things fell apart for them. Nico Collins got hurt at first, then Diggs got hurt, then Tank Dell got hurt. The offensive line was, I thought the offensive line was the main issue. They just couldn't block, and so Washington getting Tunsil, I think, kind of negates that worry. They already had a great interior, and now they have Tunsil on left tackle. Like their only like somewhat weak spot is right tackle, but even that's like not that bad. So I think this team is stacked. I think they're definitely a top 4 team in the NFC. But again, Cassandra's probably laughing at me. John says, I'm not saying they're correct, but it's simplest recency bias. Oh yeah, for 100% for sure. And so we did have some other signings. We talked about Chidobe Awuzie, by the way. I did like it. We don't have terms for the deal. If it's like 1 year for $3 million, I would love it. Like definitely an A plus. If it's like 1 year, $10 million, then I'm like, okay, maybe there's some concern that he gets hurt again, but still a good signing. It'd probably be like a B plus, A minus at that point. So I don't have the grade yet, but I do like the signing overall. It should make them better. The Bills signed Dane Jackson, so maybe John can weigh in here, but I like the move. I mean, he knows the system. He's played there for 4 years. He had a horrible year in Carolina, but like now he's back to where he's comfortable. It's only 1.2 million. It's a depth signing. I think it's a solid B plus. Bears signed Olamide Zaccheaus, 1 year, 1.5 million. They lost Keenan Allen, so they needed a new slot receiver. He could do well in the slot. He had some good performances last year. He's not Keenan Allen, but he's also very much cheaper and he's younger. So this cheap deal for a third receiver is fine. It's a B plus, and it's not a great signing, but it's not a bad one. Dolphins signed Alexander Madison, 1 year, 1.17 million. Man, Madison's stock really plummeted, huh? Like he was seen as like potential starting running back when he was backing up Dalvin Cook. Like he had some great performances, and then he kind of sucked ever since. Like he had a chance to start in Minnesota, he failed there. He got a chance to start the Raiders, he failed there. Now the Dolphins signed him to be their third running back. I don't know why. I feel like I would just draft a running back at this point because like whomever they draft is going to have more upside than Madison. But I can't like grade this poorly. It's only 1.17 million, so I gave it a C. I actually like this less. Eagles signed AJ Dillon one for the same contract. But like the difference here is that Dillon is injury prone. Like he looks so good in his first year. In that Tennessee game on Sunday Night Football, he looked awesome. But he's declined ever since. It seemed like he made the Packers worse whenever he had the ball. It was just like it's so deflating because like you see Aaron Jones have some nice runs, and then they bring in Dillon. It's like 2 yard gains. Like every time he just sucks. And then he would get hurt a lot, and he missed a lot of last year because he got hurt. So I don't like the Eagles are usually great in the offseason. I don't really understand the signing at all. Let's see here. We have some other questions. Sam says, do you think Daniel Jones will thrive in the Colts offense? I think he'll do better because they have a decent offensive line. They have a couple good receivers, and they have a good coaching staff. So I think that I don't know about thrive, but I think he'll do better than he did with the Giants. John says, I hate the signing because it means they might not upgrade at cornerback too. Well, if that's the case, then that is bad. But I don't know, this like low contract signing, 1 year, 1.2 million. I don't think that means that they think he's gonna be cornerback too. Stanley says, what do you think about the Giants signing Chauncey Golston? I think I graded that pretty favorably. It's real quick. I can probably look it up right now. I graded that as a. Did I not grade it? Let me see. Yeah, so I graded that as a B. It's 3 years, 19.5 million. So it's a little more than I would have thought, but he's 27. He has upside. So definitely not a bad signing. When you have Jane Daniels and Jalen Hurts in your division, you need as many pass rushers as possible. So yeah, it makes sense. But I'm not like crazy about the contract, but it's a good one. That 1.17 million has 828 void years. That's 100% true. Bren says, "What if Giants also go sign Aaron Rodgers now?" Well, that would shut the door on on Shedeur Sanders. I guarantee that. I don't think they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers. I know you're kidding, but man, that would be pretty wild if they did that. Okay, so let me go to we can go through our mock draft real quickly and then we sign off. So we have Cam Ward going to Tennessee. Talked about that already. I think he's the pick, or I think he's the pick no matter what at number one. I don't know if someone's training up with Tennessee, but it seems like given that Tennessee hasn't signed a single quarterback, I I think that definitely points to Cam Ward. So unless they sign Aaron Rodgers or whatever, not that I don't think Roger. I thought Rodgers would want to go there because he's from he has property in Nashville and he's friends with multiple people in the front office. But I guess like wanting to play for a contender is just like too much. But I don't know. But then again, if you think you're as good as if you're Aaron Rodgers and you think you're great, then like you probably think that you can make any team good. So I don't know. I thought there'd be more stuff linking Rodgers to Tennessee, but it hasn't happened. So right now it's Cam Ward. Number two, we talked about this before. I think it's Shedeur Sanders at the moment, but if it's not Sanders, I think it's going to be Abdul Carter to play across from Myles Garrett. Number three, here we go. Abdul Carter going to the Giants. I think Sanders is in play, but then again, them signing Russell Wilson might signal that they may not like Sanders all that much. We'll see. I did see that Deion Sanders wanted Shedeur to play for the Giants, but at the same time, or he said at least New York, so maybe he meant the Jets as well. But I don't know. I thought this might be an Archie Manning situation where he would dictate where his son would go, but I don't think that Deion has as much leverage because his quarterback is quarterback. His son is not, I guess it's the quarterback too. His son is not the QB one in this draft. It's Cam Ward. If he were the consensus QB one, I think he would definitely have some leverage, but he doesn't. Number four. So this made someone on Twitter angry. I have Armand Membu going to the Patriots. I think they're going to go tackle. They spent a lot of money on Carlton Davis, and they already have Christian Gonzalez. So if they get Travis Hunter, it's like where do they put a third corner like that? And they also signed Stefon Diggs. Not that the receiver is not a concern, but I think they go tackle because they did nothing on the offensive line. So Membu is the pick here over Campbell, and I think that's because Membu, what he measured at in the combine, like both his like running and jumping and also his wingspan. There's only been two other tackles in combine history who have posted the same numbers that he did. They were what's his face? First of all, it was Trent Williams from the 49ers, obviously, and formerly from Washington, and Tristan Wirfs from Tampa. Those are the only two tackles who have posted the same measurables as Armand Membu. So I think he's going to go a lot higher than people think. I think he's going to be a top 10 pick. Now, he might not be the first tackle off the board. It could still be Campbell. That's who Charlie has the Patriots taking. But I think that Membu has a good shot to be the pick at number four. And then we have Travis Hunter going to Jacksonville. So it's kind of like I used to have a guard / tackle going to Jacksonville, but they spent money on a tackle. So I think that it's not going to be a tackle. It's going to be a corner. So it kind of like makes sense that like what they've done in free agency kind of like dictates how these picks would go. 6 Raiders taking Will Johnson. It sounds like they're leaning Johnson right now, but we'll get more info on that for sure. 7 Mason Graham to the Jets. I think this makes a lot of sense. As I said before, they're missing John Franklin Myers a lot. Like Quinton Williams was double teamed so often last year, triple teamed sometimes. So they need someone else to take attention away from that. Number 8, Michael Williams to the Panthers. I think they definitely go edge rusher. They're really missing Brian Burns. They had the worst pressure rate in the NFL last year. Number 9, Will Campbell. So if Campbell goes 4, I think Membu probably goes here. So you could flip flop these. The Saints need a tackle, obviously. Campbell is a local product. He could play guard. He could play tackle. But I think that it makes sense for him to start at left tackle and to move Fuaga to right tackle. Just because Fuaga's national position just seems like right tackle. Kenneth Grant to the Bears at number 10. They upgraded their offensive line completely. Now they can focus on the defensive line, which I think they'll do. Number 11, the Niners taking Kelvin Banks. So they need offensive line help a lot. They also need a success for Trent Williams because Jalen Moore signed with the Chiefs. So this could serve as both. Like Kelvin Banks could start a guard, or I guess he would start a guard. And then when Williams retires or gets hurt, he could slide to left tackle. Number 12, Ashton Genty to the Cowboys. Don't need to explain this one. Like Rico Dowdle's gone, or Doodle as we call him here. The Cowboys signed Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, who are like, Williams at least has some upside. Miles Sanders is terrible. Williams was good as a rookie, but then he tore his ACL and he's never been the same. So they obviously need a running back. Number 13, Nick Amenawari to the Dolphins. One of their starting safeties is Ashton Davis, which sounds awful. He was just a backup for the Jets for the most part. He really sucked when given the chance. So they need a safety. And Amenawari made a visit to Miami, so at least sounds like they're interested in him. 14, Tyler Booker to the Colts. So they lost Ryan Kelly and Will Fries this offseason in the offensive line. They have Tanner Bortolini to replace Kelly, but they don't have a replacement for Fries. So that would be the replacement for Fries here. And I think the Colts kind of like pride themselves on having a great offensive line. So I think that they'd be interested in Booker. Number 15, Shamar Stewart to the Falcons. They had a terrible pass rush last year until their bye. And then for some reason, after the bye, they had a great pass rush. But, Matthew Judon's a free agent. It's probably not going to return anyway because he's coming off a down season. So I think that the Falcons will be interested in a pass rush. And here at the Cardinals, weird pick here, but Josh Simmons here. I think the Cardinals really want to trade down. And I know a lot of teams want to trade down, but like the Cardinals, from what I hear, they want to move down very badly. And I think Josh Simmons is someone they could take in like the 20s if they trade down. Sounds like they want to tackle because they're not convinced that Jonah Williams can stay healthy. Okay. So Stanley says, so far, what's your outlook on the Raiders with Geno Smith at quarterback? I forget who said it on the show. It might have been Kenny, or it might have been Evan. So forgive me, guys, if I don't remember. But they said that by signing Geno Smith, the Raiders basically turned to the Seahawks. A team that's going to be on like the border of making the playoffs, but like they'll usually not get in. And if they do, they'll lose in the first round because like they're just not that good. So Geno Smith makes them more competitive, but he also doesn't give them any chance to win the Super Bowl. And they gave up a third-round pick for him, even though he's 35. So just seems like a huge mistake on their part. So yeah, if Geno Smith were like 30, I could definitely get it. But 35, like he's going to decline soon. All right, 17 Bengals taking Walter Nolan. This guy has first-round talent, but there are some questions with him. That, the Bengals in the past have done moves like this. I don't know if they will this time. I think if Nick Amenawari's here, I think they take him. He also visited Cincinnati, so we'll see if I have him available in the next update. 18, Seahawks taking Tyler Warren. They have Noah Fant, but he really hasn't done much for them since that trade with Russell Wilson. So I think that with DK Metcalf gone, like it makes sense for them to go receiver as well, like Tedero McMillan's available. But I think Warren is the better prospect. I think it's close. But yeah, they signed Cooper Kupp. They paid Cooper Kupp a lot of money, so I think that I think it's more likely to go Warren over McMillan. 19 Jihad Campbell going to the Buccaneers. Levante Davis 35, I think. So they need a linebacker for the future, and they also need someone besides Campbell. I know they signed Anthony Walker, but he's more of a backup right now. And so here we go, Tedero McMillan falling to 20. I wanted to have him earlier. I just couldn't find a good spot for him. And Denver, they don't have anything a receiver outside of Cortland Sutton, although Marvin Mims had some good performances down the stretch, but still, like they don't have anyone that Bo Nix can count on at receiver outside of Sutton. So getting McMillan, I think, would be a really good move. 21, Steelers, Derek Harmon. This could be a number of defensive tackles. Cameron Hayward's an old player. So I think that this would be Shedeur Sanders' floor. Like I've heard, speculation that Sanders could really plummet. I said this before that like a scout on an NFC team, he read my mock draft and like the only thing he said was that you should move Sanders to the second round. And I responded to him like, well, I think one team, all it takes is one team to fall in love with him. And that team could be the Steelers. And they might think right now, they're like, oh, we'll have no chance to get Sanders. And like, he falls to them, it's like, oh wow, like we can get Sanders here. I think they end this fall. If he does fall, I don't think he'll fall, but if he does. 22 Jalen Walker to the Chargers, so it's easy. They lost Joey Bosa. Khalil Mack is not going to be around much longer, so they need edge rusher for the future. So I think this makes sense. Walker could go earlier too. 23 is another defensive tackle, Jordan Burch. He could also go to Pittsburgh. The Packers don't have a great pass rush, so they could definitely use someone up front. 24 Malachi Starks to the Vikings. This is Harrison Smith's replacement. Smith is definitely getting up there in age, and so they need a new safety for the future. They also lost Cam Bynum this offseason, so kind of makes sense. 25 Josh Connolly. Talked about this to the Texans. So I know they signed Cam Robinson and Trent Brown, but those were for 1 year deals, and plus Brown is very injury prone, so they need a solution. And I think the Robinson and Brown signings are kind of like insurance policies, just in case they can't get someone like Connolly. And then Connolly also visited Houston too. 26 Luther Brown to the Rams. Cooper Kupp's gone, but Adams is there. But Adams is an older player. He's 32, so they need a second receiver for the future. Plus, Puka Nacua said that he's only going to play till 30, so maybe this is a replacement for Nacua down the road. 27 James Pierce to the Ravens. Feels like Pierce is going to fall to either Baltimore or Philadelphia. It just feels like one of those picks. So I have Pierce here at the Baltimore. I think Charlie has Pierce going to Philly. Seems like one of those teams will get him. 28 Lions taking Jack Sawyer. Don't need to explain this. Like, it's a high effort motor player that Dan Campbell loves. Like, I feel like it's gonna be tough for him to pass on Sawyer. 29 Colston Loveland to the Redskins. It should be Commanders. What is this? I did not do this. I have Redskins on my thing. Anyway, Redskins taking Loveland. Zach Ertz re-signed, but only for 1 year. He's not going to be around much longer. So I think that the Redskins taking success for him makes sense. Getting another weapon for Jane Daniels. 30 Maxwell Hairston to the Bills. Here's the CB2 that John Sanders wants, hopefully. 31 Gray Zabel to the Chiefs. He can play tackle, guard, or center. Play all 5 spots in the offensive line. It's just so valuable, especially after losing Joe Thuney. He can play guard and tackle. Just to replace Thuney, I think that makes a lot of sense. And then 32 Eagles taking Emory Jones to replace him for Lane Johnson down the road. He's 35 soon, so it makes sense to get a tackle for the future. The Eagles always draft for the future, so I think it just makes sense for them to go that way. All right, so John says Bengals should go receiver. That's what they would do, right? Spend all the resources in offense. Just have the best offense of all time. Fans will love it, until they lose like 45-42 every week, but it'll be fun. Bengals need another CPA. It's definitely true. Yeah, I don't think they got the message that the cap is fake. Sue says, I think Doge should take a look at the Saints. Yeah, there's definitely some shady stuff going on in New Orleans. Like, how'd they go from 60 million to like 10 under? I don't know. I know Kenny explained it, but still, it seems very shady. Stanley says, do you think it'll be smart for the Broncos to draft Luther Burden in the first round? Well, I mean, look, if McMillan's gone, then yeah, I think Burden's definitely in play. I don't think it's like ideal for them, but I think that would be a solid pick. I'd give it like a B or B plus, probably B plus. I would like them with. And Sue says 8 NCAA basketball games Thursday and Friday. Are you looking to post a play or 2 each day? Also, how did your Evan first half final over on their best workout? So let's say on Friday, the second half unders were 13-3. They were incredible. They couldn't miss. However, on Saturday and Sunday, they kind of bombed. They really, I think like Saturday they were like 2-6, and then Sunday I kind of like gave up. Although I was busy on Sunday afternoon. With the whole not only the Justin Thomas thing, but I also had to run out to the grocery store because, my wife was like, she's gonna make like chicken Alfredo and stuff, and like halfway through she's like, I don't have any pasta, so I had to run out. And I had to take my daughter, so that was like a whole mess. But so I gave up halfway through. But I will say this: I've noticed that, and Evan agrees with me, that the second half totals are mispriced if there's a blowout, because they are built. I think the algorithm builds them to compensate for free throws. but the free throws never come if the game's a blowout. So I'm really interested in kind of like looking at next college basketball regular season. Whenever there is a blowout, like 20 plus points or more at halftime, or even better if it's more than that, because if a 20-point game could get close. Like if it's a 30-point game, it probably won't get close. So like I was maybe like 25. Let's do 25. Like 25 points or more at halftime. I think the under is going to hit most of the time in those because, as I said, like I think the algorithms are screwed up. Now, like there could definitely be overs. Like teams could get hot and whatever, they can make threes, but it just seems like the unders are good plays in those scenarios. Plus, you can always like try to middle too. Like that's a good strategy. So that's something I'm going to look for next basketball season for college basketball. And I talked to Evan. I'm like, do you think this works in the NBA? And Evan said he didn't think so because, like, like if they bring in the scrubs, like for example, if they bring in the scrubs in college basketball, like those guys are probably are awful. Like unless you're talking about like a top tier program like Duke, like even like the team's still alive in the tournament, like they bring in the scrubs and not that good. But like in the NBA, if they bring in the scrubs, they like the scrubs in the NBA used to be like some of the better basketball players in college basketball, so they still have talent. Like, and everyone, if you're in the NBA, you have talent. So it's like even if they bring in the scrubs can score in the NBA, but the scrubs in college basketball probably can't score. So I don't think it works as well in the NBA. I tried it 3 times. It went 1 and 2. Just like putting like $10 bets on these just to make sure, just like kind of track them. They went 1 and 2. So I don't think it works too well in the NBA. But I am in college basketball and blowouts. I think it was like the second half under was like 4 and 1 for me. So I am interested in seeing how that works. As far as like posting plays, if I think I see an edge, I'll post it. I can't guarantee that I'm going to post anything. Obviously, there's going to be NBA plays, but I don't know. I'll try to come up with something. I like if I like something enough, I'll post it. But I can't guarantee that there will be plays. So. All right, guys. I guess that's about it. So thank you so much for the great conversation tonight. I had a lot of comments about like politics and whatnot. So I always love talking politics. Always a lot of fun. And plus the NFL stuff is always great too. So thank you so much for watching and commenting. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much to Alan Stafford for the $15 super chat. That definitely, I think that 30x what we'd make normally on here. So thank you so much, Alan. Just appreciate it so much. So yeah, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. We'll be back tomorrow with Kenny. I'm excited to do the show tomorrow with Kenny. I've been looking forward to this for a long time because or the plan at least, is to get into the ADP of the best ball on DraftKings. To kind of like, it's a good barometer for like where fantasy players will go. I know it's still a little early, but right now on DraftKings they have like I think they're like $10 or $20 tournaments. And I think that I don't know why I'm saying I think that. I could just look it up right now. I'm pretty sure it locks right before the draft starts. So like you can say like, oh, why would you draft now? Because like you'll know more than the draft. Like this actually locks right as the draft starts. So like everyone will have the same like non-information on these rookies. So this contest pays out, it's $10 entry, and first place is $200,000. Second place is $100,000. Third place $50,000. Fourth $30,000. Then 25, 20. Seventh and eighth get 15. Ninth and 10th get 10, and so on and so forth. 136 pays out $500. That's kind of the cap if he gets to round 4. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely enter some of these. But what I wanted to do, and like I said, I think this is a good barometer for where these players would be drafted in fantasy, although it's still, like I said, early. I really want to see how this plays out because like it might give us an edge in the best ball, and it'll also prepare us for the drafts come August. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, so like I said, we'll be back with Kenny on Wednesday. And yeah, guys, once again, thank you so much for watching, commenting. Really appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great night. And I will